Hello and welcome to She Talks Finances. Today we're going to talk about compound interest just a little bit. What is compound interest, you may ask? Compound interest is the addition of interest to the principal sum of a loan or a deposit. In other words, it's kind of what you would consider interest on top of interest, right? So, how can we illustrate that? Let's say you have $100 and it earns 5% interest each year. So let's say after year one, that will be $105. So after that first year, 5%, you have $105. At the end of the first year, that is. Now, at the end of the second year, you'll now have $110.25. So that 105, that second year, now it's 5% on top of that. So let's look up compound interest calculators. So how can you kind of get a feel for, what your money is going to look like if you invest in something? Let's just Google. So let's see what calculator looks good. Okay, so I've used bankrate.com before. We're going to use that, okay? All right. So so it has 1,000 here. That's a good amount to start with. We're going to start with 1,000 and we're going to say for 10 years, the rate of return, I don't like that 0.24. We're going to say your rate of return is 3% a year, okay? And each year, so you can put how much you're going to add per month. You can put how much you're going to add per week, bi-weekly, per quarter, per year. So let's say per week, you're putting $50 into this. Now you're like, what am I putting this into? Let's say it's an index fund, an ETF index fund. I'll go over what that is in another video if you're not familiar with it. But let's say we do that. And this is what it's going to look like after 10 years. So you started with 1,000. You're putting 50 per week additional, let's say every check. So first year, that 1,000 is now $3,670. Year two, we're at $6,419. Year five, we're at $15,173. And at 10 years, we're at $31,603, right? So $50 in 52 weeks, that is $2,600 a year, basically. So if you want to do a year, is 2,600. You'll see it should be the same. Oops. What happened? Where did it go? Oh, calculate. I just think there's these little ads down here I have to get past. It disappeared. There we go. Still, okay, 32,000 at the end of it. Okay, so I just changed it to a year, 2,600 per year. I think it was a little more, right? No problem. So yeah. So that will be worth $32,000, right? So that 2,600 times 10 years would have been additional 26,000 plus the original 1,000 if you didn't have compound interest, right? Let's say you had zero interest. That would be $27,000 minus the interest, the annual rate of return. So you basically made $5,044 off of just interest in those 10 years. Now, you're probably like, that's not a lot. Most people are putting more. Let's say you have a 401k. Now, I like to use the 401k calculator. So let's see how it works with that. A retirement. Let's do a retirement compound interest calculator. Yes. So your job, say, uses a retirement fund, right? This time, let's try NerdWallet. Let's see how different that is, right? So your initial deposit, let's say right now you have a 401k, you have $5,000 in it, and you add, maybe you have a match with your company. You could have that too. But let's just say you put $300 a month in your 401k, right? And now your investment span, come on, it has to be a little longer than that. Let's say your investment span is 20 years And I like to, we're going to say your rate of return year over year, we're going to say 6%, right? I don't want to go too high. I don't want to go too low. It's average, right? It changes by the year. I think the S&P 500 has an annual. I can't remember. Is it 7 or is it 9%? But let's just be modest and say 6%. In 20 years, this is what it will be. And look, your interest is more than your principal, right? Your principal at this point would be 77,000, as you see there, and your total interest is 78,870. Now, a lot of your jobs may also match, right? Some companies match up to 6% of your 401k, etc. So you would have to take that into account. Let's say this 300% is 6% of what you put in from your check. So let's say your job is also putting that in. So let's say we're at $600 a month, right? $600 a month is now being put in, and this is your balance after those 20 years, right? So you have your principal is $149,000, and your total interest is $146,186. Okay. So that's great because, as I said, like it added that additional 146,000 with the compound interest, which is why investing is so important, especially when it comes to, retirement and growing your money and building wealth. And I most definitely want to continue to stress this idea. I want to get more in depth as my channel grows. But that was just a basic way of how you can search online. You guys see I did a basic Google search. I looked it up. And voila. You can play around with the calculators anytime. Say you put $1,000 a month. Voila. Let's say you're starting at 20 and let's say 30 years later, you're 50. Oops. You're at 1 million, right? 30 years. So 20 and now you hit 50 on your 50th birthday. You look at your account and you're like, wow, my principal is only $365,000, but my total interest was $674,784. Wow, I'm a millionaire, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed this little quick lesson on compound interest, how it works, how you can find calculators online. There's different sites. I usually use Bankrate, or I like NerdWallet. I actually kind of like this better. The other one, it's just all the ads and stuff and all, sometimes when they're trying to get you to buy things or open accounts, you're just like, I don't want to see these ads. I just want to get down to it, crunch these numbers, see if I'm on track. And that's a way to see it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little lesson on compound interest today. Thank you so, so much. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the videos, and I hope you guys have a great day. All right. Bye.